Hello there. It's Loren. Hope you're doing well. It's great to be here with you. I hope you're enjoying a beautiful Friday morning wherever you are. Here in Costa Rica, a typical Friday morning here, which means beautiful blue skies, sunny, t-shirts and flip-flops. What can I say? Shorts too. Sherry, hello there. Sherry, how are you? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your kind comment. The rest of you that are here with me, you are welcome to, if you'd like, to identify yourself, say hello, tell me who you are, where you're from. I'd be glad to know who's here with us. So feel free to add that if you'd like. I've got a guest today on the show with me, as usual. Try is sitting here in my lap. He's asleep, so I'm going to leave him be for now. Maybe you'll see him later on. Okay, there's a few more of you that have joined. Feel free to speak up if you'd like to say hello and tell me who you are and where you're from. I'd be glad to know. In the meantime, I'll do what I always do. Here we go. So Sherry is here from San Diego. I just got off the call, Sherry, with a friend in Temecula, literally a minute ago. Got off. Hello, baby. Hello there. Now you've got me wondering who you are. I can't see from this. Judy Osborne, good to see you from Oregon. I know where you're from, Judy. Wild Cherry Moon. Dana from Kentucky. Hello, Dana from Kentucky. Good to see you. Glad you're here with us. So let's see. What can I tell you? From Maryland. Hello, baby from Maryland. What part of Maryland are you from? Tell me where you are. I don't know if you're aware of this, but I was born in Washington, D.C., but grew up in Maryland. My family lived in Maryland, and I was born at a hospital in the city, but grew up in the suburbs in Bethesda. So I'm a Marylander myself. Blickmanic from Algeria. Wow, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I don't remember whether we've had anyone here from Algeria before. It's entirely possible, but I'm glad you're here. Dan, you don't have to tell me where you're from. I know exactly where you're from. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I just awoke the sleeping kitten. Here, let me introduce you. Sorry, buddy. This is Chai. Say hello, Chai. Chai's just waking up. He's been laying on my lap sleeping for the last hour. I've been on a call. I got a very warm lap. Let's see who else we have. So you're from Howard County. Okay. Beautiful up there, the country. Brendan is here from Cape Town, South Africa. J777777G from Canada. Good to see you. I'm not sure if I got the right number of sevens. Okay. I can't read the next one because it's in Russian. I don't know how to read Russian, but I'm glad to see you here. Oh, from the Ukraine. I apologize for that. Is that Russian or Ukrainian? I understand they're similar but different. John is here. Let's see. Is there danger to too much citrus? How many months of the year, or does he have access to watermelon? I don't understand that question. How many months of the year, or does he have access to watermelon? Not really sure exactly, John, what you're asking. Is there danger to eating too much citrus? Well, let's say, there are people that do islands where they're eating only one thing. If you're eating only one thing, you are likely to wind up deficient in various things because no one type of food contains everything we need. So it's best to eat a mixture of things. But if you're living in citrus country and that's one of the things you have available to you, there's nothing wrong with eating plenty of citrus. That's fine. Eat as much citrus as you like, as much as you enjoy. Make sure it's ripe enough. Unripe acid fruits always contains high degrees of acid, high levels of acid, and that means it can do a number on your teeth. So, if you want to keep healthy teeth after nearly 30 years eating fruit, you just want to make sure you're not eating unripe acid fruit, stuff that's been picked too soon. We have somebody else here, Live Your Bliss from San Diego. Would this by any chance be someone I just got off the phone with? Because I'm thinking maybe it is. Mistaken Enemy, hello, mate. Okay, I'm guessing you are here from the UK or Australia, since those are mate countries. We don't say mate that often in the US. Lee is here from near London, from Bracknell. I know Bracknell, actually, Lee. I think I've been through Bracknell. Andre is here from the Philippines. Good to see you, Andre. Mistaken he's from Australia. Okay. It was a pretty easy guess, I guess, one of those two places. BP Zen from Barbara from Arizona. Good to see you. Eric is here. I know where you're from, Eric. Eric is from Seattle. Shir is here from, Shir, are you in Tel Aviv? I think you are, right? I know you're in Israel. I just don't remember exactly which city you're in. Any tips for how to become a morning person? Yeah, go to bed earlier. Wake up in the morning. I think ultimately, if you, one of the things that you can do is, so I have curtains on my windows in my bedroom, which you can see through there, but they let a lot of light through. And for a long time, I had no curtains on my window. Decided it might be nice to have some curtains, but they let the light come through. So when the sun comes up, I wake up. I'm very sensitive to the light. We are diurnal animals intended to be awake during the day and asleep at night. And so you just need to start shifting your schedule. And of course, normally the cleaner the diet is, the easier it is to do this. And fasting helps as well. But in the meantime, just by starting to shift your own schedule, I think you can start that to shift a little bit. Peter is, I'm sorry. Oh, Paka is here. Can neuropathy heal through water fasting? Yes, we see that all the time. Is it unhealthy to consume sugary fruits with this type of issues? No. When you say sugary fruits, and if you're talking about fresh, whole fruits, it's fine. Sweet fruits are perfectly fine. Dried fruits, not a good idea, including dried dates. Shir over and Dan, the two I've seen so far from Israel, they have lots of dates growing in Israel, and their dates are typically sold when they're relatively dry, and they have a high glycemic load. So honestly, I wouldn't target neuropathy, but in terms of dates, but nobody should be eating a lot of dates, a lot of anything that's so dry, because it's going to dehydrate the body. You want to keep your body hydrated, and the best way to do that is by eating high water content fruit. Now, you're not going to get hydrated until you get the body clean, but you're going to need to do high water content food to do that. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? I think, okay, there we go. Shari, are people traveling there yet? No. We have one client here. She was already in Costa Rica. That's it. We're normally full, and right now we have one person. That's a little weird. The borders are now supposed to open on the 30th of June, and they've changed the dates a few times. So we don't know if that's really going to happen or not. I'll remind you now, and I'll probably remind you later in this broadcast, that if you are stuck at home, as most people are, not working and maybe not with so much to do, this is a perfect time to fast. And although, I think the ultimate is doing it here. The place is gorgeous. The climate is close to perfect. It's great to have a community around you. There's an amazing education. The food's incredible when it's time to refeed, et cetera, et cetera. The next best is fasting with me via Skype. I can guide you through the process via Skype. It's pretty powerful. We have groups of people. I work with groups now. There's usually going to be 3 or 4 people on the call at one time. I mean, generally speaking, I'm pretty busy, so the groups are usually full. That's up to 4 people at a time. And so you have a little community of like-minded people to support each other and to learn from. You're not just learning from your own experience. You're learning based on what happens for each person. And so there's nothing like being here to do this. But if you can't get here, and right now, when nobody can get here, if you'd like to take advantage of this time to be as healthy as you can, and what's more important than that, it's an amazing opportunity. And I'm going to make it even more amazing by offering you a 10% discount. We don't normally discount the price. The rate for this hasn't changed in like 12 years. Been charging the same amount. It's $500 per week, US $500 per week of fasting and refeeding. Right now, you can save 10% when you book your future Skype fast, whether you do it now or you do it some other time. You book it now and pay in full, you can save 10%. And why are we doing that? We're doing that because we're empty and should have more than 30 people here. And so we're looking for ways to pay the bills. And so you can help us do that and benefit yourself as well. Okay. Shir says, I'm in Rehoboth. Oh, yes. Yeah, you're close. I know where Rehoboth is. Nicholas Corvinus from Sweden, good to see you. Nicholas, live your bliss. Name is Catherine, and it's been a year or so, but we had Skype call a while ago. Okay, Catherine, good, glad to see you. It's not you then. I literally just got off the phone with someone in San Diego that is in, because of what she does, I thought your YouTube handle could have been her. But anyway, good to see you here. I'm glad you're here. Anna from Seattle, hello there. Good to see you. Paka says, when your fasting retreat open again? Well, we're open now. The problem is you can't get here. So if you can get here, great. But it's, right now it's hard to get here because the borders are closed. The borders, as I said, are supposed to open on the 30th of June. We do have people that are buying flights for the 1st of July. We'll be open this time around only through the 28th of July. We're supposed to close on the 4th of July, but obviously opening on the 30th of June, we can't very well do that. Or no one, so we're going to be open 4 additional weeks. We're going to close after that because we have another session that runs from the 22nd of August until the 31st of October. And I don't want to displace all those people who've already bought tickets in some cases. And we have a bunch of people booked for that session. And so we're going to have 4 weeks from the 1st to the 28th of July. You can be here if you want to come then, Wednesday to Tuesday. You're welcome to join us, or you can book for the following session or later sessions. Let's see. By the way, thank you very much. You're very, very welcome. There's no super chat. There's no super chat. How many months of the year do you have access to watermelon? Oh, there's no super chat. Okay. Well, that's probably because we booted. We had originally aligned 5 years ago. I was asked to join a network. There are aggregators here that theoretically are going to help you and negotiate with YouTube and do other things. They didn't really do much for us. We canceled our contract. We couldn't do it until the 30th of May. So that contract is now canceled. We had to basically start fresh with YouTube. And I didn't realize that Super Chat was now off. I don't know how to set that up. So it's not going to happen today unless Guzelle happens. You know what? I'm going to take a quick moment here. Give me just a second. I'm going to see if Guzelle is at her desk. She's the woman that does videos for me and has actually set Super Chat up here for me because, again, I'm pretty much of a technical idiot. Hang on a second. I'd say technically I'm an idiot. A lot of people would probably agree with that. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to send her a quick message. Let's see. Okay, I should be done in just 1 moment. Okay, let's see what I'm doing here. I think we're good to go. So I don't know if she's there or not. What's going on here? Sometimes, I don't know if this ever happens to you, but it seems on certain, sometimes like I have a page open here and I'm trying to send a message on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, and it doesn't go for some reason. I don't know why. So I need to redo that on a different page, different window. I don't know why that happens, but okay. I've just sent that message. So we're going to leave it. I don't know if she'll show up or not during this this time. She may or may not appear. I don't know, if she's there or not. She wasn't there when I started this. She doesn't keep a particular schedule. I mean, her schedule is up to her. So it may get turned on. If you're interested in doing that, making a super chat essentially a support and making sure I get to your question. If she comes today, then it will get turned on. If she shows up before we're done, she's usually there by the time I'm finished here, but not always. If not, it may be that today we don't have it and it happens next time around. Okay. And you still can't super chat from Israel. Well, so right now no one can super chat, but thank you. I was wondering if you ever fasted someone with anorexia and how did it impact them? Well, we've fasted people who were anorexic, but not in the throes of anorexia. Obviously, you have to have reserves. So if someone is super emaciated, then it's not going to work. They can't safely fast. They can't fast. They'd be starving. That doesn't work. Someone is dealing with anorexia, which is an emotional, psychological issue. Yes, they can fast. And we want to be really, really clear that they're not fasting as another way to lose weight. If they're actually trying to heal. It's an incredibly powerful healing tool process for those people that are willing to use it that way. It just depends. Okay, let's see. We have a message here which is held for review. How many months of the year do we have access to watermelon? Every month of the year. We grow. We can get watermelon here from Costa Rica 12 months a year. We always have watermelon here. It is always, when people start refeeding here, the first 2 days, their options are limited to watermelon, papaya, and fresh out of the coconut water. We take it out of the coconut and pour it into a glass just before it's their time. I mean, then we serve it to them. And so those are the three things. Those are three of the things we always have 12 months of the year, regardless of when someone's here. Those are their options. Okay. All right. Oh, let's see here. So I'm going to okay. These protests are based on a false narrative by the media that there's some racism problem in the U.S. when white or black murdered are the least common by far of any race or on race. Yeah, well, it's interesting. I saw something yesterday, and some of you may have seen this. And I apologize. I don't really follow the media very often. Like I don't watch television news, or I don't know who these commentators are. But there was a lovely young African American woman she was labeled as being conservative, and she was talking about this murder by the police officer of this black man, and pointed out that white men are far more likely to be murdered by police than black men are statistically. Now, I don't know. I don't have the statistics that she's quoting. I'm just telling you what she said. So whether that's true or not, I mean, I assume she's telling the truth. I don't think she would make it up. But yes, they want to divide us. There's no question about it. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening, which are false flags. I mean, I don't know if any of you saw this, but somebody posted recently, in case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I've got this cat in my lap. Someone posted recently, they actually showed it was a message, I guess, somewhere that was posted looking for people to create violent protests, violent demonstrations. I mean, this is what they were saying. This is what we're looking for. And, these people are well paid to show up and do this, this stuff. So, I mean, I believe in peaceful protests. As I said recently in a post on Facebook, I think people need to stand up and speak up, and most people need to wake up, but peacefully, right? There's no need for violence. It doesn't solve anything. That's not the answer. But they're actually looking for people that are willing to get a bit violent, so the whole thing is, we're not really seeing what's really happening, because we're seeing things that are being orchestrated and people are being paid to do. Brandon says, do not see the super chat option. Yes, Brandon, I apologize. For anybody here, let's see. So if Guzelle doesn't show up, Brandon, if in case you weren't here when I talked about this, or maybe when you mentioned I hadn't said this yet, in case anyone's joining us, we made a change to the YouTube channel, eliminated access from an aggregator. We were being paid through their account for the last 5 years, and they're now gone. They were taking a percentage and weren't really doing anything for us. And so they're gone now as of yesterday, I think. I didn't realize when we did that we would need to go back in there and set it up again. So I've just asked Guzelle, who of course, to go back in and set it up again. I don't know if she's in the office, so I don't know if that's going to happen today in the next 40 minutes or not. If it happens now, you'll probably see that come up. or maybe not. Maybe because we're already in this, it won't even show. So those of you who would, really were hoping to make a contribution today, one way to do it is feel free to send me an email, Loren@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com, or if we're connected on Facebook, you can send me a message through Messenger. That's going to be easier, or you could even do it here, I suppose. But it might be easiest actually through email, because what I'll need is your email address. So if you want to, you can send me a message and say, I wanted to make, let's say, a $10,000 donation today, whatever the number is. And I will then shoot you a quick invoice, which you can click on and put in card information through Stripe, completely safe system that we use. Okay, but right now, yeah, that's going to be the only way to do it. Probably because, nope. Let's see, J7G, what currency are your prices in? On the website, the prices are in US dollars for consultations for everything. The prices on our website are all in US dollars. Would love to do a consultation with you, another come to you. Yeah, well, feel free to. Again, shoot me a message at Loren@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com. That's Loren at Tanglewood Wellness Center. That's CENTER, the American spelling.com. And you can just go onto the website and pay for a consultation and then schedule it through an automatic scheduling system. You can do that, or you can email me and we can agree on a time, etc. Okay, and again, perfect time to fast. You can save 10% if you book that now. And I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to keep that open for you, but for the time being, this opportunity is still available to you. And I promise you, it's an amazing thing that happens for people. It's incredible what shifts and how powerful it is if you're willing to do what you need to do. If you don't take the coaching, you're not doing what you need to, you're not going to get the same results. But people who do, it's truly life-changing for them. Truly life-changing. It's amazing what happens. All right, let's see. Brandon says, any benefits of using UV blue glasses when watching TV or working on computers to block the blue light? Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps there's some benefit to that. The blue light can be harmful to us in terms of how it affects the brain. Lee says, really great to chat with you. What are the best fruits and veg to eat in the UK for hydration? Well, regardless of where you are, so being in the UK, let me start this way. Being in the UK, in the summertime, you've got you've got the option of buying locally grown peaches and plums and nectarines and berries. And those are all things that are relatively high in water. Not super, berries are pretty high. The stone fruits aren't quite as high, but they're all high, relatively high water content fruits. They're all good for you. Of course, salads. You can, again, you've got lettuce and tomatoes, cucumbers. You want to add some avocado, that's fine. The avocado is about 80% water. Everything else is much higher. Lettuce and cucumbers are both around 96%. Tomatoes, I think, are around 92%. Peppers are perhaps a little bit lower, but a salad is, generally speaking, is going to be high. If it's limited to those ingredients, is going to be a high water content thing. And then the fruits, the best you can do are the locally grown ones. So cherries are going to be a little lower in water content. Apples are going to be not so bad, around 86%. Pears, perhaps a tiny bit lower. Citrus, which is probably not growing in the UK, but is coming up from Spain and other places, and is available through the winter, very high in water. Most citrus is going to be 88 to 90% water. And of course, in the summertime, you've got melons as well. You've got watermelon and various other melons. Again, I'm not sure if they grow in the UK, but they should ship pretty well. And those are going to be fantastic, given that most melons are going to be anywhere from 90 to 92% water, right? So some of the highest water content things you can consume. Okay, hope that helps. Mary Lynn, I'm sorry. How much does it cost to come for a fasting session? Well, Mary Lynn, that depends on how long you want to fast for. Our clients book by the week, so they're here for most of our clients are here for 4 to 6 weeks. We have quite a few that do longer than 6, spend 7, 8, 9 or even 10 weeks with us. We have very few people that are here for 1, 2, or 3 weeks. Frankly, it makes so much more sense to go longer that, that's just the way to go if you can. And so the average stay here is 5 weeks. A 5-week stay currently runs, I believe it's $4,295, if I'm not mistaken. A 4-week stay is $3,600, $3,700 US dollars for 4 weeks. And that's the minimum I'd recommend. Now, there's an opportunity here as well, which I hadn't mentioned. And again, for a limited time, but right now, you book your future stay with us, you can save 20%. And you'll have up to 2 years from being able to travel. So, if you can't get into Costa Rica until the end of the month, then you'll have through June, and it'll actually be through the session. So if the session ends in July in 2 years, you'll have through the end of that session, 2 years from now, to get here. Okay? And you can save 20%. And that's amazing because we've never done that. We've never offered 20% off on a single fast. In the past, we've done it once or twice where people were buying multiple fasts at one time, future stays. Right now, you can buy multiple stays. If you already know that you want to come 3 or 4 times, and many people do that, you can pre-commit to that in advance by making full payment on all of those and save 20%, which is going to save you quite a bit, right? I mean, on a 4-week stay, it's in excess of $700 savings. So if you bought 3 4-week fasts, for those of you able to, I understand not everyone can do that. Right now, it's a difficult time for people. But if you're in a position to do that, you would be able to save more than $2,000. And if you do that, by the way, you have more time. I would give you 4 years to get here to use the time, even more if you needed. Probably 5 years on 3. I'll say 3 years on 2 and 5 years on 3. So you got plenty of opportunity to get here if you wanted to do that. Okay, hope that helps. Let's see. DK Lapson has, okay, nothing there. JJ, are you, Eric, did PayPal finally thaw that freeze as promised? No, they did not. They didn't freeze the account. They closed the account, but they're holding our money. And they did promise to return our funds to us within 180 days. It's now been 190 days, roughly. I forget the exact number. I've been writing to them, trying to get hold of them on the phone. I'm getting no response. We've seen nothing yet. They still have our funds, and I've already defaulted on 2 real estate contracts here for the big project that I had the money in the PayPal account to make big payments and wasn't able to do that. Now, fortunately, one of them has said we'll give you up to 2 years. The other one is waiting for some funds. So we need these funds to come back so we can make this payment. And I don't understand. If you're working with PayPal, you need to understand that this can happen to you too. You want to be really careful. Their contract allows them to close your account anytime and to hold your funds for up to 6 months. It's already been more than 6 months and we don't have our funds back. So, and I don't know what I'm going to do because I can't really afford to sue PayPal. They've got big lawyers. We're probably not going to get anywhere. And we don't really have the money to do that anyway right now. So I'm, just waiting for them to get get my funds back to me as they promised they would. In the meantime, fortunately, I'm staying very busy, not only with various projects, and we got lots of cool projects going on that I'll tell you about, but also with Skype coaching. And so I do have space because we just had some people finish up, but I've been doing 3 group calls per day, which means up to 12 people. I work with 4 at a time, up to 12 people in 3 hours of my time. It's 4 per hour. It's a 1-hour call. And there's it's an amazing process. Everyone so far is coming out of this completely transformed, amazing benefits. This is what happens. It's why I'm doing the exact same thing 23 years later, because it's so incredibly powerful and beneficial. So, okay, so let me talk briefly about some of the other things that we're up to. So working with people via Skype, and there's at least a couple of people here who work with me via Skype. When we did that, It was either a group call or a one-on-one call, but it was just a call. Now, the first thing that we do, I mean, aside from the information we always sent out, we still do that. And there's a pre-fast call. We've prepared a Google spreadsheet. It's a simple spreadsheet, but it actually makes it really easy to track all the information. It's a shared document, so you get it, you complete it every day. I can see it when we talk each day. Maybe it'll pull that up, and it's really helpful to be able to track the information. And one of the things we're hoping to be able to do with this, once we have enough of these, is we'll have data perhaps to actually publish data on what's happening. Like, there are things we can track, we can show people statistically with X, because I can tell you that with more than 400 hypertensive clients, every single one except one completed their process with below normal blood pressure. One of them was still 5 points high after having come down 50 points. I would say that's a success. But every other person actually completed below normal, which is much healthier than still being above 120. Most people wind up being under 120 and mostly between 90 and 110 systolic pressure, which I believe is perfect. That's where it should be. But with all this data we're compiling, we should be able to publish in the future and actually have some things that are going to be really helpful to people, move the science forward by being able to actually demonstrate some of this stuff that I've been telling you for years, but I'm not organized enough to be able to get it all together to show you. We're going to have it all organized for us. Where was I? What's your age, by the way? You look young. I'm 59. Some people tell me I look old, I guess because they see gray. My skin is still soft and supple. I'm still strong and fit. I still wear the same size clothes I wore in high school. My vision's still better than 2020. My body functions really, really well. So, and I haven't been sick a day in 33 years. So I think I'm doing reasonably well. Hello there, Shubhang from India. I hope I said your name correctly. Cheryl says, hi, Loren. What's your opinion on rebounding? Let me scroll up a little bit so I can see a little better. I'm looking at the very bottom of my screen here. Oh, no, I moved too fast. It's amazing how this happens. I think I'm going slowly, and before I know it, it just scrolls way too fast. Now, you guys can probably see here, if you're commenting recently, one of the reasons that we do Super Chat is because it's impossible to get to all the comments otherwise. I have another appointment in 28 minutes, so I will be off this call, just before 10 o'clock, and I'm probably not, especially if comments keep coming in, it's going to be difficult to get to them. I'm going to do my best, but it's going to be difficult. So let me see here. I'm still looking for where I was. I'm really amazed at how fast it moves sometimes. There we are. Okay. So Cheryl says, what's your opinion on rebounding? What do you think of drinking celery juice on a daily basis? Okay, so juices are overly concentrated, largely oxidized, fragmented because we throw the fiber away, and there's essential nutrients bound up in the fiber, fragmented, imbalanced, unnatural substances. And we can't improve on food by running it through a machine. So I don't recommend drinking juices. Now, some people have results, and that's because they're probably dehydrated and maybe needing some nutrients, but that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to get the body clean and eat properly. It's a lot easier. Maybe not in the moment, but long-term, it's a lot easier. But even more than that, more importantly, much better long-term results. You're not going to get the best results by drinking juices. In fact, you're going to become dependent on the juice, and you're forcing your body to work hard to outprocess all the stuff you don't need. Rebounding is great. It's perfectly, it's great exercise. If you have a rebounder, a little mini trampoline, that's fine. You can do that. We don't have one here. We have a giant trampoline here. It's not like a rebounder. It's a lot more intense. You jump on that for 10 or 15 minutes, and you're really going to feel those muscles. But you can get a lot of benefit from rebounding as well. It's perfectly fine. Okay, Live Your Bliss says there's no super chat for me either last week as well. Now, last week, there should have been super chat, and we did have people making super chats. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure we've gotten super chats from California. I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able to do it. Today, that's different. You've probably heard me talk about why that is. So I won't mention that again. Again, I don't know if perhaps this is going to change during this live broadcast. Perhaps not. As I said earlier, if you didn't hear me or just getting here, there's no super chat available currently. It should be back either later today, maybe now before we're done in the next 25 minutes, or certainly by the time we are live again next week. If there's no opportunity to do it today and you wanted to make a donation, what you can do is you can shoot me an email, tell me how much, and I'll send you an invoice, which you can click on and pay. So I appreciate the support very much. If you want to do it that way, you're always welcome to do that. And I mean, obviously, if you can do a super chat, when you can do a super chat, that's easier. But I'm happy to do it that way, especially now when you're unable to do it otherwise. Okay, so just let me know. Okay, Donna says hello from Texas. Blessing from Donna and Sheldon. Hello, Donna and Sheldon from Texas. Glad to see you. I hope you're doing well, and we'd love to see you back here again. So we had another amazing fruit festival this past year, even better than the year before. And I hope you'll maybe consider joining us. In fact, I'm hoping that in the next week or two, we will be posting the information, actually making it possible for people to sign up now at the lowest rate. That's going to be coming up very soon. I started to tell you earlier about some of the other things going on. Where did I get to? Did I get to anything? Let's see. So we now have a Facebook group for Las Cascadas, the intentional community that we're developing, as well as the whole project. And that just went up in the last few days. Many of you were invited to join us. If you weren't invited to join us and you're on Facebook, you can go to Las Cascadas Intentional Community, or just look up Las Cascadas. I'm sure it'll come up. Las Cascadas. And if you want to join the group, you're welcome to. That's where we're going to be posting more about what's happening. There's already a couple of videos up with me talking about specific aspects of the project, as well as a longer video. I don't know if we put up the real long video, with an hour-long video with me talking about it. You can find that on my YouTube channel right here. There's also a shorter, just the video footage of the nature preserve, like 3-minute video. And people introducing themselves and talking about what they're looking for. And it's a good way to connect with people, other people who want to join the community. And you might want to go there if you're interested in that. So that's now up. We were going to shoot additional videos, and they were actually shooting for the website. So the Las Cascadas website is nearly completed. There's a little bit of work left to do. It's actually waiting for me to do some work, some editing work on one section that's been written. I haven't had a chance yet, but we're also going to be uploading about 10 or 12 short videos with me talking about various aspects of the project. And we've got about half of those recorded. The other half we still need to record. That was going to happen yesterday, but it was raining yesterday morning when I had a chance to do it. And today I've been back-to-back calls, and it's not going to happen today either. But soon enough, that will be up. So we're working on that. Some of you have been waiting for this. We are working on, and it's going to be a little while yet, but I'm working on putting together an online nutrition and health program. It'll take about a year for most people to go through. That will be coming soon. That's going to be an amazing program. We've looked at what else is out there. My goal is always to offer the very best possible, and we think we're going to be offering something that is heads and shoulders above most of the other offerings out there at a very fair rate, and that'll be coming soon. For those of you that want to work with me via Skype, I think I started to talk about that, right? So up until now, it's only been the calls, basically, and what we're doing is we're putting together more of a program where there'll be daily emails. Eventually, there'll be a series of videos as well, so that when people are likely to need it, they're getting something that helps them we'll just get more from the process. We'll just, again, really what we're trying to do is just to increase the value for people. And that's something we're working on now. And then of course the work on the big project. So all those things are keeping me quite busy in addition to everything else I've been doing. I've done several podcasts in the last week, and we'll be doing another one 5 days from now. I believe it's next Wednesday. I'll be doing a podcast, and we'll probably start doing more of those. So I will be posting on my Facebook page, probably on Tanglewoods as well, maybe other places, whenever those are scheduled. I haven't always done that, but I'll be trying to do that in the future. We'll be letting everyone know. So if you're interested in catching me there, you'll be able to. So again, these are some of the many projects. I have not yet had a chance. I've been so busy, it's with such a shift in income, it's been difficult for me to take the time to work on the book because I've been so busy with calls instead and doing live broadcasts. But that is something that also should be completed this year. I just heard from the illustrator on a children's book that I wrote. He is getting close to being finished. Amazing artwork. Once he's done his work, then we still have to get everything published and printed, and that's gonna take some time. But hopefully that will be out. I think it should be an amazing piece. And there's at least a couple other books that I'm currently working on in different stages. One is actually photography. In fact, if we're Facebook friends, if we're not, you can go to my Facebook page. I have been publishing for the last 5 or 6 weeks daily photos from Tanglewood, scenes from outside, including flowers and butterflies, or just, scenes, what am I saying, scenic shots of the place here. And I'm thinking about and planning on publishing a book at some point where I'll have, just the most amazing photographs of my photographs. I mean, they may not be amazing at all by your standards, but my best photographs, all about nature and with inspirational quotes and maybe a little written piece from me as well. That's coming as well. All right, let's see, where were we? Let me come back here. Yep. Right. So thank you so much, those love songs, for your very kind comments. There is no super chat today. That should be back up soon, certainly by next week. Again, you've probably heard me say this, but you can email me if you want to make a donation today. I would be very grateful. You just shoot me an email, Loren@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com. Tell me how much you'd like to do. I will send you an invoice which you can click on and pay through our online credit card processor, Stripe, and that should be the way to do it. Okay, that's one way to do it, I should say. Happy Vegan Coach. What do I think if someone takes zeolite or charcoal pills to detox? You mean, what do I think? I don't know what you think, but what do I think if someone takes charcoal or zeolite pills to detox? Well, so pills don't detoxify you. The body detoxifies itself. Taking charcoal pills or zeolite pills can have some effect on your body's ability to do what it needs to do, but it's not going to detoxify you because the body is, like every other organism, is self-cleansing. You see the kitty there? There you go. Look at that. Is self-cleansing and self-healing. So by far, the most powerful way to detoxify your body is fasting properly and long enough. If you want to do other things, you're welcome to. I personally don't believe in attempting to manipulate the body by consuming non-food substances. I mean, those aren't foods. There's no reason to eat charcoal. And what happens by fasting properly is so much more powerful and so much more beneficial that there's no reason to do anything else, really. Okay. Now, before we still have 15 minutes, but I'm going to say it now and I'll say it again. If you're enjoying this, if this is beneficial to you, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That's always helpful. And please consider, if you haven't already, I see 16 of you have already done that, but if you haven't already done that, please, if you think this is useful and valuable information, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider sharing this on your page in your groups, on your YouTube channel, wherever you like. You can put the link up once that link is available. Maybe it already is. Once we're done here, what happens is, I'm just trying to get the cord accommodated here. Once we're done here, it'll take a few minutes to process the video, and then that video is available, so anyone can click on the link and can watch the video if they've missed the live broadcast, which happens. Believe it or not, not everyone in the world is here right now, which is mind-boggling. Why aren't they? Obviously, this isn't for everyone, but feel free to share this if you think it's useful, because maybe there are other people that would benefit that aren't here right now. Hello, Neil Brown. How are you doing? Paka says, must a person wait a long time after prolonged fast from 3 weeks through another fast? Yes. People rush one to the next. I think that's a very bad idea. We want to give the body a chance to really balance itself. And we have people that want to come here. Some people want to come 3 times a year, every few months. I don't allow that to happen. In very specific circumstances where someone's dealing with something really significant and has, depending on their specific condition, I might allow them to come back within the year. But typically, I encourage people to wait at least 8 to 12 months. So we don't usually take people sooner than that. If it's a longer fast, obviously, with a shorter fast, it's not a big deal. But longer fast, there should be some time. And you're going to be much better off if you do that. Okay. Okay. Neil says, Metairie, Louisiana. I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. I'm probably not pronouncing the name of the place correctly. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I've seen it before. Love's Love Song, still from California. I'll pay you another way. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I mean, you do whatever works for you. Of course, no one is obligated to pay anything. I'm offering this for free, and I gratefully accept contributions from those people who choose to contribute. Of course, that's up to you, but if you choose to, it's very much appreciated. I'd be very grateful for that. Okay, let me scroll back up. Always dangerous. Let me see if I can do this slowly. Okay, so Zagaro says, can I still water fast after losing a lot of blood? I cut my hand. Yes, you can. That's not a problem as long as you know what you're doing. I mean, honestly, I know if those of you that have been here for a while have heard this over and over again, but I hear from people, 4 or 5 of them every week, asking me for help because they've made a mess of things on their own. And I see all kinds of situations where people get themselves in trouble. I have a dear friend who I don't see here today, who's often here with us. And she has a situation in her family she's well aware of someone who fasted on her own and didn't do what she needed to do and wound up in the hospital. We have a pretty good record, 23 plus years. A handful of people ever need to be hospitalized. And it's usually not because we made a mistake. It's usually because there was something going on in their body. They were already very, very sick or something along those lines. So doing this properly is usually incredibly safe, but it's very difficult to do if you don't know what you're doing. I did a consultation yesterday with a gentleman who botched things terribly. I insisted on doing it on his own, and then had a consultation with me afterwards, and is now completely dehydrated, and has really put himself in a very difficult situation that did not need to happen. It's, if the money feels challenging for you, remember via Skype, there's 2 options. I mentioned earlier, you can pay in full right now, temporarily for a short time, upfront, pay in full, save 10%. The other alternative is no discount, but you can pay 50% upfront, and you can pay the balance over the course of a year. And that makes it pretty easy for most people. A 4-week process means you're going to have to come up with $1,000 US. Now, I realize we've got people here literally from all over the world. Some of you are listening in from places where $1,000 is a lot of money, and that may be difficult for you. But you know what? Feel free to write to me, because there are creative ways to raise money. We have people come here from all over the world. I mean, people have come here, and that's obviously much more expensive than working with me via Skype, about twice as much on average. than via Skype. And yet we've had people here from all over the world, including many third world countries where people don't earn a lot of money. They find a way to make it happen when they're really committed to their health. If your health is the most important thing in the world to you, you can probably make it happen too. So feel free to write to me, and if I can help you, give you some tips, I'll be glad to do that. Okay. It's all about the mindset. Yep, that's right. It's true. You're the inspiration for water fasting healing, but I fail every time I try. I can't even fast for one day. How can I help myself? Well, so I just finished saying, I think the best way to do it is to work with me via Skype. If you can't get here, work with me via Skype. Okay. You'll have a little supportive community. You'll have a group of other people going through the process with you. It's a lot easier. We're going to speak every single day. It's an hour-long call. There's tons of time for inspiration, and you're going to see what's happening for other people. People complete the process. Almost everyone completes the process. It's very difficult on your own. Frankly, it's just as well. Most people can do 5 to 7 days without creating too much of a problem. But come fast with me via Skype. I can guarantee you that you will complete the process. If you're willing to put a little bit of effort into hanging in there, you can do it. Everyone does. You can do it too. Okay. It's amazing, and it's well worth it because what happens is so incredible. All right. Let me scroll up again a little bit here. That mean the watermelon too ripe. That's exactly what happened for me. I'm not sure, Dick, what you're referring to. Maybe I think I skipped something here. How do you choose a ripe watermelon? Mine usually tastes like a pink cucumber, maybe too early in the season. It's entirely possible. It sounds like what you're saying is your watermelons usually aren't very sweet. And so it's probably too early in the season. They probably weren't ripe enough. And not going to be much sugar if they're not ripe enough. Oh, I missed some other ones. Cher asked me if we grow lychees. We do. They're the best thing on planet Earth. Lychee season is about to start in Israel. I'm so excited. I'm not a huge fan of lychees. I love fruit, and lychees are for me, they're a little too sweet. So we grow about 5 members of the lychee family. My favorite one is the rambutan, which is not as sweet. It's sort of a sweet tart combination. I like that much better than the lychee. For me, the lychee is just a little too sweet. They're amazing. They're delicious, but I can't eat very many of them. It's just a little too much for me. Okay. So Chai is gone, freeing me up a little bit more now. He was on my lap all this time, and getting a little warm there, actually, as it's getting warmer outside. Let me see. What did I miss here? Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm caught up. So yes, Zagros, if you fast correctly, you know what you're doing, you have guidance. The loss of blood is not a problem. Okay, it's not a problem. Okay, Dick says, what if you swallow a hair during the fast? Does that mean you break the fast? Nope. I'm sure people have swallowed some hair by accident or something else. That's fine. It's not food. It doesn't affect you. You haven't broken your fast. You don't have to stop. It's perfectly fine. No reason to worry about that. How many days fasting do you recommend to heal mild Crohn's disease? Well, typically with Crohn's disease, most people benefit from going 26 to 30 days. That's a 5-week process. So I'd recommend a minimum of 26 days for you. Contact me. Let's make it happen. Wouldn't you like to? Let me say it this way. Crohn's disease is a pain in the ass. Okay. And you can eliminate that. I dealt with something similar 36 years ago, and it got worse with 3 years of medical care. And then I healed myself in just a few months with fasting and changing my diet. You can do exactly the same thing. Okay. You can do the same thing. So you want to contact me, we can make that happen. So let me scroll up here. It's just too hard to see down there. Okay, Asim says, having symptoms of diarrhea on the second day of refeeding after 6 days water fast, I only had cucumber juice and watermelons in small quantities in a gap of 2 to 3 hours. Should I continue water-rich fruits? And you shouldn't be drinking any juices. Juices are unnatural, overly concentrated, largely oxidized, fragmented, imbalanced substances. There's no reason to ever consume them, and they're likely to create issues for you. And again, It's a lot easier with guidance because then you actually know what's happening and why what's happening is happening. So next time around, contact me. I'll guarantee you, you'll get way more benefit, and have much easier time, learn a ton as a result, and complete the process in much better shape than doing it alone. How do I know this? Well, how can I say this? Because I've worked with many thousands of clients, at least half of whom tried fasting on their own, and every single one of whom says to me, much better with your guidance. Okay, it never ends. I mean, I have people fasting with me 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. The highest I think so far, the most is 14 times. An alternative practitioner who understands fasting as well as anybody here, and yet keeps coming back for guidance. Why? Because it's a much better experience for her. She knows she's going to do a much better job. She doesn't have to worry about anything. You know, she's going to know exactly how much water she needs. She's going to know how much food to eat. She's going to understand what's happening because I can explain to her what's happening. And so she can relax and has a much better experience. Okay. J multiple 7G said, I started the hygienic system protocol by Shelton 6 months ago, and have recently found you here on YouTube, and it resonates with me about more than hygiene. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I think you meant resonates. Right? Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Shelton was one of my mentors. I learned a tremendous amount from Herb Shelton. He was an amazing guy and knew a ton. And there are some departures, and there are places we can improve on what Shelton was doing. I mean, Shelton started in the 1920s and died in 1985, 35 years ago. There's a lot. We have a lot more information. We have a lot more tools available. And you know, maybe I've come to a few conclusions. I know for some people, you know, how can you say that? Shelton's a god for some people. I've literally had people say to me, well, who are you to disagree with Herbert Shelton? I don't know. I'm a living, thinking person who's had a fair amount of his own experience. And, you know, I've come to my own conclusions. So I've learned a tremendous amount, but I don't definitely don't believe every single word Shelton said, because I found in many places he was incorrect. Glenn is here from Norway. Good to see you, Glenn. Glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. So thank you. This is J7G. Thank you for all that you bring to your channel. It's helped me a lot. It's helped me to go completely 100% raw, and I'm really loving it. That's fantastic. Congratulations. For any of you that haven't yet gone 100% raw, it's an amazing thing, and you want to do it. And I'd be glad to help you. You know, I do one-off consultations and coaching programs, as well as guiding people through the fasting process. So if I can help you, feel free to take advantage of me as a resource to you, because, you know, having experience with thousands of people makes a difference. I've actually worked now with well over 12,000 clients over the last 20 years, almost 30 years, excuse me. Almost 30 years ago, nearly 30 years ago, I started coaching people. Okay, let's see. I do still follow the hygienic principles, but start doing 2 raw meals a day of fruits and simple salads. Fantastic. Good for you. Shame on PayPal. Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, I don't know how they can justify this. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, they never even told us why they did this. They said that we were operating outside of their principles. We had changed nothing. They might have changed their policies, but we didn't change anything. And they actually stole $20,000 from me, because they also do have a loan program called Working Capital. And because we've been with PayPal for 20 years, we do a lot of business with PayPal, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I mean, it's $300,000 a year just to be open here. Okay, bill, you know, the salaries, Social Security, mortgages, taxes, insurance, etc. It costs a lot of money. It costs between $5,000 and $6,000 a week for us to be here, around $300,000 a year. And so we run a lot of money through PayPal. Well, we used to run a lot of money through, not anything anymore. It's been more than 6 months, not a penny, but we used to do a lot of business with PayPal. And so they would make it possible for us to get an advance on payments, you know, knowing our history, and then pay it back over time. But you pay an upfront fee. So after a month or 2 months of not making any payments, they took that money out of my account, which was sitting in my account, the money they had lent to me, and they never refunded the fee. right? They say you're not making payments, so we're going to take the money back. Well, I can't make payments because payments are made through the account only, through the PayPal account, and you've frozen my account. You've closed my account. So it really is shameful, and you want to be very, very careful. If you have an online business and work with PayPal, you just need to know they can do exactly the same thing to you. Okay? Is clay safe to cleanse with? I don't know what you mean. I mean, are you bathing with it or are you consuming it? I personally wouldn't recommend consuming clay. It's not food. Okay? I consume food and water and nothing else. And there's no reason to consume anything else because, as I said to you earlier on your earlier question, you were asking about zeolite and charcoal. We don't need to consume non-foods in order to cleanse the body. Fasting is so much more powerful and so much more beneficial that there's really no reason to do anything else. Okay, we don't need clay. We don't need anything else. Okay, that's been my experience over and over again with thousands. I mean, we have people here who've already tried everything else. They've tried the charcoal and the zeolite and the clay and the juice fasts and the colonics and whatever it is. And what they find is that a properly constituted, long enough fast, with guidance, it's way more powerful than everything else they've ever done put together. And I'm not exaggerating. That's a simple fact because the body does the cleansing and healing. And what fasting properly does is it gets us out of the body's way so the body can cleanse and heal as efficiently and as effectively as possible. We can't improve on that. It's not possible to improve on that, okay? That's the very best we can do. All right. Hey, Power Drummer, how are you? What happened to Super Chat? I don't know if you already heard me say, but Super Chat, we had to, we made some changes to our YouTube channel, eliminated someone who'd been involved and was taking a percentage and wasn't doing anything for us, but we were getting paid through their company, and they're gone. And I didn't realize we need to reset up Super Chat. In the meantime, if you want to make a contribution today, you are welcome to shoot me an email and tell me what you'd like to contribute, and I'll send you an invoice for that, and then you can pay that. And that's the only way that I know of to do it right now. Okay, it should be back up by the next live broadcast next week. And I hope you're doing well, Rachel. Love to talk to you sometime soon. Okay, let's see. Let me scroll back up here. How do people pay you now? You don't accept PayPal. We use a company called Stripe. Fortunately, we already had Stripe on our website. And so when PayPal came down, instead of paralyzing us, we immediately I had somebody, Stripe used to be much less visible because we had benefits of working through PayPal with the relationship we had and the amount of time. What we did was we just made the Stripe link much more visible so people were able to continue making payments, and it was somewhat invisible to the average person. But like PayPal accounts, to PayPal the money directly from your account to ours, we can no longer accept that. And it's really unfortunate. It was really confusing to me at the time. Like we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything different. We're doing what we'd always done. We'd always been a very good customer for PayPal. They treated us very well up until then. They made it really easy, in terms of the loans got bigger and bigger and bigger until it was really helpful to us to have that, because it's difficult here as a foreigner. It's been difficult up until now. We still don't have, working capital loans from the local banks. Whereas in the US, I had a $50,000 line of credit with a local bank, with years in business, which meant if I needed some funds to do improvements or something to the facility, I could write myself a check for 50 grand. And then I had to pay it back before I could do it again. Or I could take 10 grand today and has 40 grand more tomorrow. I don't have that ability now. And so I had something similar to that through PayPal. Now we don't. Anyway, that's where we are for the time being. So we work through Stripe, work through Stripe. Jose, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Z-Bubs, how long did it take to get hydrated? How much did you drink between fasts while getting hydrated? How long would it have taken without fasting? Well, so how long it took me, I can't tell you. And I can't tell you because we only, I'm now nearly 29 years living on fruit and salad. And we only started measuring hydration levels just under 15 years ago. So we've measured more than 5,000 people's hydration levels in 15 years. But back, 29 years ago, I had no way to measure myself. So I can only guess what was happening. I don't really know exactly where I was. What I can tell you, what works for most of my clients, though, because we've seen this with thousands of people, is first of all, you have to fast long enough to get all the garbage out. That's the first step. And it's not going to happen. And you have to do it correctly, because if you don't do it correctly, you're not going to get hydrated. In fact, what usually happens when people do long fasts on Earth, they get more dehydrated because they don't really know what they're doing. They don't know how to interpret their vital signs. They're not getting enough water, or they're getting water incorrectly. Okay. And so, you have to do this properly. If you do it properly, by the time you're done, let me share 2 stories with you briefly, because, I'm afraid I have gone over, and I'm sorry, I have somebody waiting to hear from me. So I'm going to have to end here. And I apologize to everyone. Again, you can see the reason we have super chats. I see there's a lot more questions and comments here. Let me say one more time, a couple of things real quickly. First of all, if you wanted to make a contribution today, you can send me an email, Loren@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com. Let me know how much you wanted to contribute. I'll shoot you an invoice. This will be later on today at some point, and then you can pay that with any card, credit or debit card. Remember, if you are still at home and not going to work for a while, and you want to take your health to the highest level possible, this is a great opportunity to do it. You can schedule a Skype process with me. Even if you don't know when it's going to be, you can pre-commit to it now and save 10%. You can pre-commit to a future visit here if you'd rather do that and save 20%, but it has to be now. This may not be available in a week or two. I don't know how long it's going to be available. It just depends on what happens. With a date now, if this date, if people trust this date and we start seeing more bookings come in the way we normally do, then we are going to stop offering the discount, because we don't normally offer discounts. We don't need to. We stay full. We offer the best prices of any real fasting center. And frankly, there's no place like Tanglewood. Tanglewood is spectacularly beautiful. It's getting more beautiful all the time. And, we offer a very high level of service, and no one has the experience that I have. And so we're offering discounts now because of the situation. So take advantage of it now if you want to take advantage of it, because it may not be around in just a little while. And, let me say this too. I understand everyone's looking out for themselves. I had a client write to me yesterday and say, please send me 2 invoices for 2 8-week stays. I want to come later this year and next year, each time for 8 weeks. Please send me an invoice so I can get that to you now. I know it'll help you. And so I sent an invoice at the discounted amount. And she wrote back and said, no, I want to pay full price. Okay. Now, some of you, may really need the discount. I'm glad to offer it if you need it. Okay. And I'm offering, you're welcome to take advantage of it either way. I'm offering it now to encourage people to take action now. It's good for you. It's good for us. She's in a position where the money doesn't really matter to her. It's not a big deal. She's got plenty of it. And so she said, I'm happy to pay full price. Please send me new invoices for the full amount. I'm happy to pay that. Okay. Now, if you want to do the same thing, I won't argue with you. It's very generous. You don't have to. But, I do believe the value is there. You're going to, at twice the price we charge. In fact, I've had people tell me, wealthy people tell me we charge way too little, that, it would be worth it at a much higher rate than we're currently charging. And yet we're trying to make it affordable for people. So if you're in a position and you want to book your stay and you don't need a discount, that's okay too. Okay. It's up to you. But, you know what, I'm going to have to end there because I'm already late for another call. So let's leave it there. Happy you'll have a fantastic week. It's been good spending this time with you. I will be back next Friday morning, 9:00 Costa Rica time. And I'll look forward to seeing you then. And have a fantastic week in the meantime. Bye-bye.